High above all that would soon be, Michael sat by himself and wept, because he knew the kingdom of heaven was broken. It was all he'd ever known, and now it would be gone in a blink, in an instant, in the exact length of time in which most momentous change occurs, and it would never be able to return or come back as it once had been, not with what must happen, he knew, and with what must now come, and that was why he wept. It was failure, he knew, and it was irrevocable, and it was also a failure he felt acutely as his own. The kingdom had been his responsibility to guard and protect, and he'd been given both strength and truth to do so. And so why had he failed? He let himself think back and wonder when it had happened, when it had gone wrong, and if there was anything he could have done to prevent it. As those thoughts all came to him, flooding with waves of pain and guilt, they settled for a moment, but then after they settled, they shifted, changed, then came from a different place. They came from somewhere deeper, somewhere much deeper, and the guilt and pain that had been there before began to slowly get swept away, until all that was left was truth, and not thoughts of the past anymore, but a vision of the future. Tragedy and change occurs, he knew, but with it could also be brought opportunity. And that's what he saw then. He saw what everything would lead to, what would soon be made, and he also saw the great and profound addition of that which was still yet to come, and the effect it would have on this creation and all else too. He was grateful for this new vision that he was sure had come from God, and he was also grateful for the hope it brought with it. And so, with some semblance of peace then inside him, he slowly wiped the tears from his cheek. He looked around, near where he'd been sitting. He looked at the palace next to him and the high walls. He knew that all the others were gathered inside and waiting for him there, gathered and waiting for his judgment, and before he left to give it to them, he took a moment to pause, and he looked inward again. This was now the moment, he knew. This was now the moment when everything would change, for one way or the other, and a collective future would be born and begin to take shape, and that future would grow and spread and expand into something brave and bold and new. And while this future was something he'd just seen glimpses of, only glimpses, in that collective future he'd seen, he also saw eternity. He saw eternity for both of them, and for all else that there was and would be.